Hello everyone, I'm Street Spider. I am a real life superhero, and today I am doing a video. I'm letting AI do a video for me, and today we're going to learn how to make web fluid. This video was basically a pet project so that I could learn more how to make web fluid for my gear. And today we are gonna discuss the 5 different ways to make web fluid, make strong web fluid. You can use you can make this web fluid in any way possible that you feel fit. But these are the 5 simple ways to make web fluid with household items and simple supplies. So let's get into it. I'll see you at the end of the video.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of web fluid. You know, that sticky, stringy stuff that allows our favorite web-slinging superheroes to swing through the city. It's actually pretty cool stuff, and what's even cooler is that you can make your own versions right at home. That's right, no need for radioactive spider bites or high-tech labs. We're going to explore 5 different ways to make web fluid, ranging from simple household concoctions to more advanced methods that'll have you feeling like a real scientist. So, stick around to learn 5 different ways to make your own web fluid at home. Let's get started. Before we get our hands messy and start mixing, let's gather our ingredients. Don't worry, we're not talking about anything too crazy, especially for these first few methods. Most of this stuff you'll likely find just hanging out in your kitchen cupboards, or maybe that random drawer in the house where everything ends up. First up, we need something to give our web fluid its stickiness. And the king of all things sticky has got to be glue, right? For most of our recipes today, we're going to use the good old-fashioned white school glue. It's cheap, it's easy to find, and it does a great job of holding things together. For a few of the recipes, though, we'll want to level up the stickiness factor with some clear school glue. And if you're feeling really adventurous, we might even experiment with some super glue later on. Next, we need to add some stretch to our web fluid. We want those webs to stretch out nice and long, just like the real deal. For that, we'll be using liquid starch. You know, the stuff people use to make their shirt collars nice and crisp. Well, it turns out it also works wonders for adding elasticity to our web fluid. Now, depending on the method we're using, we might need a few other ingredients like borax, contact lens solution, or even baking soda. Don't worry, I'll give you the full rundown of everything you need for each recipe as we go. But for now, just make sure you've got your glue and liquid starch ready to go. We're about to get our web fluid on. Alright, let's kick things off with a super simple method using stuff you probably already have lying around the house. I call this one the borrowing from the laundry room method because the key ingredient here is, you guessed it, liquid starch. Remember how we talked about liquid starch giving our web fluid that awesome stretch? Well, get ready to put it to the test. For this recipe, you'll need 1 cup of white school glue, half a cup of water, and of course our star player, a 1/4 cup of liquid starch. Now, before we get started, a quick safety tip. Whenever you're doing any kind of science experiment, it's always a good idea to wear safety goggles. Trust me, you don't want glue and starch getting in your eyes, and it's not fun. Okay, safety first. Now let's get mixing. Grab yourself a bowl, any old bowl will do, and pour in that cup of white school glue. Now add the water and give it a good stir with a spoon. We want to make sure the glue and water are nicely combined. Now for the magic ingredient, slowly pour in the liquid starch while stirring constantly. You'll notice the mixture start to thicken up right before your eyes. That's the web fluid starting to form. Keep stirring until the mixture becomes difficult to stir and starts to pull away from the sides of the bowl. You can always add a little bit more liquid starch if you need to. Once you've got a nice gooey ball of web fluid, it's time to get your hands dirty. Reach in there and start kneading it with your hands. It'll be sticky at first, but keep kneading until it becomes smooth and elastic. And there you have it, your very own homemade web fluid. Go ahead, give it a stretch, see how far it goes. You can even try sticking it to a surface and see if it holds. Just be careful not to get it on anything you don't want to be permanently webbed to. Alright, ready for method number 2? This one's called the chemical reaction method, and it involves a little something called borax. Now, borax is a naturally occurring mineral that's often used in laundry detergents and cleaning products, but it also has this amazing ability to transform glue into something truly extraordinary. For this recipe, you'll need 1 tablespoon of borax, half a cup of warm water, half a cup of white school glue, and half a cup of hot water. And as always, safety first. Make sure you're wearing your safety goggles and maybe even some gloves for this one. Borax can be a bit irritating to the skin. Okay, ready to unleash the power of chemistry? First things first, grab 2 bowls. We're going to need one for the borax solution and one for the glue mixture. In the first bowl, dissolve the borax in the warm water, stirring until it's completely dissolved. This is our borax solution. In the second bowl, combine the white school glue and hot water, stirring until it's nice and smooth. Now here comes the fun part. Slowly pour the borax solution into the glue mixture, stirring constantly. You'll see the mixture start to transform right before your eyes as the borax works its magic on the glue molecules. Keep stirring until it starts to pull away from the sides of the bowl, just like we saw in the last method. You might need to get your hands in there and knead it a bit to get all the borax solution incorporated. And voila, you've just created web fluid using the power of chemistry. Pretty cool, right? This method tends to create a slightly different texture than the liquid starch method, so be sure to experiment with both and see which one you prefer. Okay, are you ready to take your web-slinging game to the next level? Because this next method is for all you aspiring scientists out there. We're talking lab-grade materials, precise measurements, and a whole lot of scientific awesomeness. Now, before we dive in, I want to be clear that this method is definitely more advanced than the previous two. We're going to be working with some chemicals that can be a bit more potent, so it's crucial to handle them with care and follow all safety precautions. That means wearing safety goggles, gloves, and maybe even a lab coat if you're feeling extra official. And remember, always work in a well-ventilated area. Okay, safety lecture over, let's talk ingredients. For this method, you'll need polyvinyl alcohol, PVA powder, sodium tetraborate decahydrate, also known as borax, distilled water, and food coloring optional. Now you might be thinking, PVA powder, where am I supposed to find that? Don't worry, you can usually find it online or at specialty chemical supply stores. Once you've gathered your materials, it's time to get your lab on. First, we need to make a 4% PVA solution. Don't worry, it sounds more complicated than it is. Simply dissolve 4 grams of PVA powder in 100 milliliters of distilled water. You can heat the water slightly to help the PVA dissolve faster, but be careful not to overheat it. Now in a separate container, prepare a 4% borax solution by dissolving 4 grams of borax in 100 milliliters of distilled water. Once both solutions are ready, it's time for the grand finale. Slowly pour the borax solution into the PVA solution while stirring constantly. You'll see the mixture start to thicken and form a gel-like consistency. Keep stirring until it's well combined, then remove it from the container and knead it with your hands for a few minutes. You can add a drop or 2 of food coloring at this stage if you want to give your web fluid a bit of a color boost. And there you have it. Lab-grade web fluid that would make even Spider-Man proud. This stuff is seriously strong and stretchy, so handle it with care. All right, parents, this one's for you. This last method is perfect for a fun and safe science experiment to do with your little ones. It's called the DIY Kids Method, and it uses ingredients you probably already have in your pantry. Now, I know what you're thinking. Glue, kids, what could go wrong? But don't worry, this recipe is completely safe and non-toxic. We're going to be using clear school glue, contact lens solution, baking soda, and water. Yep, you heard that right, contact lens solution. It's the secret ingredient that gives this web fluid its super stretchy superpowers. Before you gather your little scientists, let's quickly prep the contact lens solution. We need to make sure it contains boric acid, which is what reacts with the glue to create that awesome web-like consistency. Check the ingredient list on your contact lens solution bottle. Most of them contain boric acid. Okay, now it's time to get the kids involved. Grab a bowl and have them measure out half a cup of clear school glue. Add a tablespoon of water and stir it together until it's combined. Now, for the secret ingredient, add a tablespoon of contact lens solution to the mixture and stir, stir, stir. You should start to see the mixture thicken up a bit. Next, add half a teaspoon of baking soda and stir again. The baking soda helps to neutralize the pH of the mixture and makes it even more web-like. Keep stirring until the mixture becomes difficult to stir. Then it's time for the best part. Get those little hands in there and knead it. It'll be sticky at first, but keep kneading until it forms a smooth, elastic ball of web fluid. And there you have it, a fun, safe and easy way to make web fluid with your kids. They'll love stretching it, playing with it, and maybe even pretending to be their favorite web-slinging superhero. And there you have it, 5 different ways to make web fluid. Who knew you could have so much fun with glue, starch, and a few other household ingredients? Whether you're a seasoned scientist or just looking for a fun activity to do with the kids, I hope you enjoyed these experiments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more awesome content. And be sure to share your web-slinging creations with me in the comments below. I can't wait to see what you come up with. See you next time.
Okay, so I think that video was kind of helpful. As you could obviously see, a lot of these items to make web fluid were easy and simple, which is what I like to strive for, especially if you have kids that are trying to be real-life superheroes at a young age, to follow in your footsteps as RLSH or you're a real-life superhero. Yeah, but apparently that is a lot of simple stuff. The web fluid that I would go for would basically be the one with the borax solution and the glue and the water, but also I would really go for the chemical method one, and actually it would actually seem more practical, especially like Spider-Man would use probably. And I know we've seen a lot of Spider-Man movies like Spider-Man Homecoming, Amazing Spider-Man, Sam Raimi. Basically, in Spider-Man Homecoming, it did show that Spider-Man, Tom Holland's Spider-Man was making the web fluid from probably the same ingredients in the movie itself. So hopefully that turns out the way like that. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe to my channel. This is my you can find me on YouTube. You can find me on YouTube at Street Spider RLSH. I hope you guys enjoy this video. So try to stay safe out there, people. If you're a real-life superhero and you're watching this video, try to take some ideas from this if you want. I will be posting another video soon enough, and I hope you guys have a great day.